What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I finally wanted to share a video to help you guys rank up your weapons fast in Modern Warfare 2. I didn't want to rush this video out really quickly before getting a lot of hands-on time with it and actually collecting a bunch of data and doing the math with this. And now that I've been able to do all that, I actually have 3 excellent methods for earning weapon XP, and each of these methods will appeal to a different style of play, as well as it will have a different difficulty level attached to it. For some of this, you can just sort of hang back and chill and earn weapon XP quite quickly. But before we get into the 3 different methods that I've got for you guys, there are some general weapon XP tips that I wanted to provide that may help things along a little bit for you. The first thing I noticed is you get weapon XP for anything that gives you regular XP, it seems, any action in-game based on my testing. So basically, as you're playing through a match, if you see an XP number pop up in the middle of your screen, well, technically that's the player XP that you're seeing in the middle of the screen. You're also going to be earning weapon XP every time that happens. Now, the values aren't going to align 1-to-1 necessarily. It will depend on the game mode you're playing. There are different multipliers for this. But just know, if you see an XP value pop up on screen, that's also applying to the weapon that's currently in your hand. But by knowing this, there are a few things that you can do to get really easy weapon XP that doesn't really require any extra effort at all. The first thing is spam decoy grenades. With the decoy grenade in this game, as long as it's going off in the general vicinity of a fight, any enemy that dies within a radius of that decoy grenade, no matter if you kill them or your teammates kill them, you'll get XP for that, and by extension, you'll get weapon XP for that, and it will apply to the weapon that is currently in your hand. Now, to be clear with this isn't the type of thing that's gonna like double your weapon XP earn rate in a match. It's not like it gives you a massive boost, but for those of you out there that are trying to absolutely optimize your weapon grinds, throwing a decoy grenade every time you spawn in the general area where the fight is taking place will grant you consistent extra XP throughout a match. On a somewhat similar note, I highly encourage you to use UAVs as well as counter UAVs on your setup if you're trying to optimize weapon XP, because you may have noticed if you put a UAV in the air or a counter UAV, for every kill that your teammates get while that streak is in the air, you'll see a +10 pop up on your screen, and that does translate to weapon XP as well. And if you call in both a UAV and a counter UAV, and they're both currently active, you're gonna get a +20 every time a teammate gets a kill. Additionally, in my testing, I've noticed that headshots, long shots, double kills, any sort of extra multiplier that applies to a kill will also apply to your weapon XP. So while I wouldn't go completely out of my way and risk dying to get one of these extra little multipliers, if I am in a situation where I could easily get a headshot on an enemy, maybe I sneak up behind him for instance, and I've got a clear shot on his back, taking that little bit of extra time to line up the headshot will give you a little bit of extra weapon XP, and that can add up over time as well. Now finally, one last tip that specifically may help you a little bit with the launchers in this game is, since they have such limited ammo, they're not really that great at killing people, especially the Joker with how long it takes to hit the ground. One of the best methods that I've seen so far for leveling up launchers is to ensure that you have a throwing knife on your class. That is very important, but you don't want to throw that throwing knife. You got to keep it in your inventory. The thing is, when you do that, just like with Modern Warfare 2019, you are now going to have a one-hit melee kill with the weapon that's in your hand, rather than having to hit them twice. Because without a throwing knife, you have to bash them twice, and most of the time they'll kill you by the time you get that second bash in. So with that throwing knife equipped on your class and in your inventory, just carry that launcher in your hand and melee people. While you're probably not going to be dominating lobbies playing like this, it's generally going to be a whole lot more effective than trying to shoot streaks down, because they don't seem to award much weapon XP for launchers, or also just trying to kill people by shooting rockets at them. This throwing knife method is excellent for grinding those launchers. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for the general tips. Now let's finally dive into the 3 different methods that I have for you guys. And the first one I'm going to share is the most commonly known one at this point. This has spread quite a bit already. This is, quite simply, play the invasion game mode and specifically try to hunt enemy bots. Not the enemy players, just the bots, because they're much easier to kill and they still award a good amount of XP. I actually did the math on this one, and it turns out for a regular player kill, which is going to be a whole lot more difficult than a bot kill, you're only earning 50% more weapon XP for a regular player kill. So it's much easier to just go around killing a bunch of bots. And what I found is the best method here is you want to try to push up on the outskirts of the map. You don't want to be right in the middle of the action. You want to kind of avoid the actual action in the game, and you want to get pushed up at least somewhat close to the enemy spawn. Now, I found taking a tactical insertion is great for this, because if you die in invasion, you spawn all the way back at your spawn, and that's a long run to get back in position. So tac inserts are great for this. You may also want to combine that with a second field upgrade, which would be a munitions box for replenishing ammo, or just try to position yourself on the map in the general vicinity of one of those resupply stations that they have scattered around the battle maps. And based on my testing, this does appear to be the most efficient method for grinding weapon XP, at least for now, although it's already starting to lose some of its magic. And the reason for this is this has become fairly widespread already, so I often find that while hunting bots, you've also got a bunch of teammates that are hunting for bots, and now you're just competing over those bot kills. Additionally, enemies seem to be a lot more aware of people that are on the outskirts now, trying to farm those bots, and they'll come kill you and break up your flow, which breaks up your XP per minute earn rate. And then finally, one thing I've really noticed in Invasion is if you end up on the bad team, things can really snowball against your team. And when this happens, you often just get pinned back in your spawn, you can't seem to break out to go and hunt those bots, and the enemy team is just going to have a steady stream of streaks in the air. I've noticed this happen a lot with Invasion, so there isn't a ton of consistency with this method, but when everything works out well and you manage to farm those bots efficiently, this definitely appears to be the optimal method for earning weapon XP. So this brings us to the second method that I've got for you guys, and this is for the people that prefer 6v6, and this is Kill Confirmed. Kill Confirmed is the best 6v6 mode in Modern Warfare 2 currently for earning weapon XP, because you not only get a decent amount of weapon XP for killing an enemy, you also get a good amount of weapon XP just for picking up tags around the map. So if you're playing Kill Confirmed and treating it like Team Deathmatch and never picking up tags, you're better off playing a different game mode. But as long as you're going around and picking those tags up, that will be contributing pretty heavily towards your weapon XP. And the best part about this is when you pick up a tag, it applies to the weapon that's in your hand. So if you're trying to level up a particularly frustrating weapon, like a launcher or maybe one of the pistols that isn't so good in the game, for instance, what you can do here is kill the enemy player with your primary weapon and then swap to your secondary when you run up to pick up the tag. This is an excellent and much more passive method of earning weapon XP for those tricky guns, and it's another reason that I love Kill Confirmed so much for grinding weapon XP. However, there is one last method I want to share for you guys, and this is the really chill method. This is the method where you can sit back, listen to some music, just sort of hang out and do this in a really chill manner. And this is playing co-op on the Defender mode. Right now we have access to MWII. However, a key with this is you typically don't want to queue up with a full group with this. Instead, I'd recommend solo queuing, and in my experience at least, I usually only get one other person defending with me. Usually they're not even trying to get kills all that much, so you want to try to get as many kills as possible here. And as long as you're basically just hunting kills down and trying to be as efficient as possible, get as many of those kills as possible, these are all going to be against bots, of course, because we're in a co-op mode, you can actually get fairly comparable weapon XP earn rates as you can in Kill Confirmed for the same amount of time in-game. So typically on an average run, if it's just you or you and one other person, it's going to take you about 16 to 20 minutes or so to get through this. And if you're racking up as many kills as possible, you're going to be earning about the same amount of XP that you would earn in a couple of Kill Confirmed games that would take roughly the same amount of time to complete overall. So this is excellent because you don't have to worry about the threat of real players trying to kill you. It's literally just bots. It's super easy. You can just shut your brain off and work toward this. However, there are some limitations here, unfortunately, and that is you can't necessarily use any weapon in the game for this. You are limited to the guns that are appearing here, or any guns that enemies may drop. I don't know if they drop any different guns from this, but you don't get to like select your loadout at the beginning of the game, and therefore this won't necessarily work for all of the guns. In either case, those are the three primary methods that I found that are quite efficient at grinding through weapon levels. Basically, you can just pick your own adventure when it comes to these. All of these are excellent methods. And this is where I want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. What is your preferred method for grinding weapon XP so far in Modern Warfare 2? And did that change at all with this video? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.